Hey everybody, this is Yarince Pascual Mateo, your host here at Espera Que.
Welcome back everybody to Espera Que. Yeah, it's been a while. We've been on hiatus since September. So, to get this started, we're going to start off with explaining why I was missing. The reason why is because of my September 18th episode where I talked about Charlie Kirk. Yes, I got hit by that. So, throughout showings, I hinted that I work in education. To be truthful, I worked as a math teacher pretty much in a pretty conservative area. Some people saw my episode about how I talked about Charlie Kirk and how he is a racist piece of shit and fascists are horrible, violent bastards who, if we want to do something about fascism, you have to be violent back, which when we get to the stories that we're about to talk about, you understand why I gave that prediction that day. But either way, those words were viewed, inciting violence against the community when I have not spoken about my school, never talked about my job, never talked about any of my students. I didn't even talk about anyone except for Charlie Kirk and fascism. But a lot of parents or people don't even have the nose, or I saw some comments from my students here and there too. They just got triggered that the fact that I am willing to be, violent against a fascist regime because fascist regimes are violent. Yes. Well, here's the funny thing is Charlie Kirk died in September. People forgot about him in October or November. Like the post that got me in trouble at my job came out at the end of September, starting October, and people just forgot about it. Like the only people who milking this Charlie Kirk things are people who are still like deep into the MAGA movement or his late widow who has been doing WWE entrances all over the places about, oh my gosh, I took over my dad's husband. Like I just talked about how Charlie Kirk is a pathetic racist piece of shit and that he isn't, but he didn't deserve to die and didn't deserve this death because it was stupid. But his widow over here is putting up the tent that he was murdered in and allowing people to take pictures out of. I just talked about the truth of a horrible human being and I lost my job. Well, forced to resign, but pretty much losing my job and maybe endangering of me ever being a teacher again because apparently what I said was too violent for kids. But the widow of Charlie Kirk can just go around with the tent where her husband died and have people take photos in it. Yeah, this is the reality we live in. This is the reality we live in, where we have a group of people who, I would say, will pretend to be victims 24/7, but will gladly show how gleeful and cruel they are. And it is wild, just based off of what happened in the past couple of days. Like, it is 2026, January 14th. And I'm not going to lie, with all the crap that has happened up to this day, all those people losing their minds about Charlie Kirk, guys, me saying that he's a racist piece of shit because of the things he has said and that fascism is violent and we have to fight against it is nowhere compared to the literal dead bodies in the street caused by the people put in place by Charlie Kirk and other horrible, bigoted, racist people. Even some of y'all, I believe, and I know there are going to be some people because the clip that was being posted around on a bunch of sites that got me fired was at the end of the show. End of the show. Someone has watched through the show and did it. So to all the people who got triggered by me calling out the truth about fascism and the racist piece of shit, Charlie Kirk, I'm just going to say this to y'all. There's a dead white woman out in the streets. There is multiple dead bodies out in the street. Y'all only care about the white ones. And there is a white one right now. You're not safe. I already saw some of y'all sending shit to DHS, FBI, to ICE, to Pam Bondi. I saw the ads on Instagram. I saw the things on Facebook. You're next. I know you hate me just because of the color of my skin and because I have political opinions that say all of us are human beings and we all should be respected and treated as human beings. But when it comes to racist bigots, they deserve violence. Yeah, because of those beliefs, I might be a target, but I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be scared off by a bunch of losers. I'm not going to be scared off by a bunch of triggered Karens. I'm going to continue speaking the truth because that is pretty much one of the only tools I have left to fight against this shit. I don't want to be violent. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want people to be hurt. But we live under a fascist regime who is trying to hide the fact that they are protecting pedophiles, which we're going to get to that, who is trying to hide the fact that they're sending people to concentration camps, who has a secret police force who is going around threatening people to say, comply or die. The guy in charge of ICE said that after they killed a white woman. So I'm just saying to all my haters who are upset that I have the audacity to come back and speak, you are going to be the next one after me. If I disappear, you're next. And trust me, you do not have enough zeros in your bank account. So either you pray that you're white and pretty enough that you can be some little plaything for those in rich, powerful, or just count your days when those American beliefs like owning your gun, having the right to parks, being able to hunt, being able to live your own life, being able to be your own person, when that finally affects you and you complain, I'm not going to be there to call it out because either I'm dead or you have crossed the line so far that you are no longer human, which after the death of Nicole Good, if you still side with MAGA and ICE, you're no longer human. Fuck you. Fuck ICE. I mean that. And that seems to be dehumanizing language. And I truly do not want to be dehumanizing language. I'm going to hold back my language. I'm going to hold back my cursing. I'm going to do better with language. But we are at a point where we have been past the line of fascism. And we're at a point where we have a Gestapo going out, hunting people based off of their skin color or just accent, and will kill anyone who stands in their way. We are far gone. And I will not be quiet. So to all the haters, which please comment down below. I don't care. Just comment down below. Truthfully, I only care about the good comments, and I would like some of those too. But for those haters, you are next. This isn't me threatening you. This isn't me saying that I'm the boogeyman left is coming for you. No, the giant monstrous thing in the office that is Donald Trump and the fascist regime he is running in the White House will come and get you. Because if they're coming after me just because I have the right to say words and look a certain way, then they're going to come for you for way less after me. That's how it is. So I'm back. I'm going to speak the truth. And I'm just going to say is for those who stand with me, please share, please subscribe, please like, please comment, say stuff, bring us back into the algorithm and make sure that people understand that I am back and I'm not going to shut up. And to my haters, you don't have to like me. You just have to start waking up. Start waking the fuck up. I know you hate the word woke, but it is time to wake up because woke means you understand the systems around you that is trying to oppress you. Now, there's a giant system in the White House that is about to oppress anyone who doesn't stand in the way, who stands in the way of the billionaires. You are not a billionaire. You are just a human being like me who is living their life. You may be richer than me. You may be poorer than me. You may have a different complexion. You may believe in a different religion. You may be a different human being, but you're still a human being. What separates us from them is the fact that they are billionaires and they are willing to throw away human life for imaginary paper. We are human beings with some sense of morals and a compass to guide us to the right way. If you are going to allow your compass to be controlled by hate lies, and ignorance, a non-human thing is going to take over you and force you to do things that you will regret. And I'm just going to tell you, wake the fuck up now before they take your loved ones, before they take the things that you love, before they destroy anything you care about. Because I see it happening to innocent people day in and day out, and I feel empathy and sad for them, and I'm going to stand for them. It hasn't affected me yet, well, except for this Charlie Kirk bullshit, but I'm still privileged enough that it isn't hurting me that much. I'm still privileged enough to have this platform. I'm still privileged enough to speak. There's not a lot of people out there who isn't privileged as me. There's a lot of innocent people in concentration camps right now, and I'm going to speak the truth. And if that triggers you, go complain. Go complain. But I want you to understand one thing. When I am gone, you are next. And don't bitch or cry when they come for you. Because we told you this since 2016, and you still followed. So wake the fuck up. The fascists are already in the gates. Either stand with humanity, stand with America, stand with the American people, or stand with the billionaires who want to suck us dry so they can become techno gods and go to Mars. Well, that is my return. Again, there are going to be some changes. Try to be lighter, try to be more thorough, try to get some more people on the show. And again, please, if you are a fan, please talk, comment, subscribe, do whatever it has to be on the little doobly-doos, whatever platform you're listening on to this. And to my haters, I'm going to keep on saying it. Fuck fascists and wake the fuck up. See you after the break.
Well, thank you everybody for listening to Espera Que. Thank you for being here for me. I'm your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo. I hope you are listening to us here in any of our major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and hey, let's survive this 2025.
Bye, y'all. Hey everyone, this is Christian and Jenny from the Coffee and Pandusi Show. We hope you're enjoying Espera Que with Yarince. It's a great show. Also, I want to remind you to join our show as well, Coffee and Pandusi, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock on your favorite podcast platform. And Jenny's show, Two Queers in a Truck.
Absolutely.
Every Wednesday at 11:30.
2025 is our 2025. If I can get it out right without something like that. We've got two wonderful shows that have joined the family of shows that we've done for 6 to 8 seasons. Yeah. And Yarince is a wonderful host, who's a wonderful guest host with Coffee, and a wonderful young man with a lot of great vision and insight. Looking forward to seeing his episodes flourish. And as always, thanks for listening. Otherwise, Christian and I would be just talking to ourselves.
That's right, and we do.
we do. Doesn't keep us from doing that now.
That's right. Enjoy the show, y'all. Bye.
Hello, everybody. This is your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo of the show Espera Que. We're going to have a long, crazy year when the orange shit saint comes back in office. So let's do this, guys.
I know a lot of things has happened after my disappearance in September, and truthfully, a lot has gone. Truthfully, there was so many stuff I want to talk about throughout October, November, and December, because wow, things have gone wrong. But at the end of the year, the biggest just shit show that we should still continue to remember is the Epstein files. So, a little timeline. Trump goes into office. Kim Body says on her desk, she gives out these fake binders. And then it's now a hoax. Now it's a lie. Democrats are making it up. It's all Bill Clinton. And then the people had putting our Congress people, their feet onto the fire and telling them, do something about it. They circumvent them. They did a law. Trump himself signed it. So the Epstein files will come out. And the deadline was December the 19th. It came and went. And all they released was just black spots, which funny enough, later on, people figure out that you can easily redact this stuff. And the shit show that came out of this, because I'm not going to lie, I am not a legal expert. I'm not a police investigator, but even after all the research I've done, diving into these files, listening to multiple different experts, like actual human beings with credentials. I'm not some idiot who just listen to whatever guys on TikTok or Instagram. I actually listen to credentialed people who does this for a living and see that, wow, there's evidence of Trump. There is allegations of Trump being at Lake Michigan where he saw one of his rape victims, who is 13, seeing her uncle throw her baby, the baby from the assault, into the lake. There is evidence of Donald Trump just giving money and buying money about girls, like buying a certain person or paying a check to Epstein about, hey, I got this used goods. There's multiple evidence of him being a misogynistic, disgusting piece of shit. There's multiple, how do I say, eyewitnesses saying that, hey, I heard this man on his phone in the car talking about all the horrible things he done to these children. So the Epstein files isn't being released entirely. Like, since the deadline, which they only released like a little bit of files and make sure they were all plotted out. And whenever some things that were released that will incriminate Trump was sent out, they literally in our faces removed them, while also just trying to point it at Bill Clinton, which again, F the Clintons, like screw them. I did not like her. Like, I did not like Hillary Clinton back in 2016, but I still would have voted for her instead of the racist orange, like, pedophile. Like, even back then, he had those allegations. And we have multiple evidence. There is allegations from the early 2000s about women who called out Trump, and there is evidence backing them up in these leaks. And that's the thing. They know it's bad, and they are doing the worst cover up. The only reason why we aren't talking about it right now is because so much shit has happened in the beginning of this year that has been put in the back burner. But I'm not going to lie. Please continue to put their feet to the fire. I don't care if Trump is guilty or not. I care if there is justice. There is hundreds. No, I wouldn't be surprised if there's thousands of innocent children who grew up with this trauma and never got to see any justice. They only see that piece of shit Epstein just die inside jail by suicide, which again sounds conspiratorial. But with how horrible they are handling this, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something there. So this is going to be short, but keep it in your mind. The government is trying to hide the fact that they are protecting multiple pedophiles. Like, even in like state areas, there are Republican governors or judges and stuff like that just allowing pedophilia to happen. Do not allow this. Women are going through a lot right now. The rise of all this toxic masculinity, all the horrible male loneliness epidemic, losers, all that stuff, that is rising. And if we are going to continue to drop the ball of allowing such horrible behavior, even in the biggest, highest echelons, is going to continue. The only way to stop this type of violence is through information, through standing up, through speaking up, through getting together and putting those who committed these horrors and allow these horrors to happen in behind bars. But right now, one of the biggest buyers of this is the president. And he is using his own DOJ to hide this fact. Even after the deadline, they just said, oh, we found 5 million more files. Well, barely giving us any of the files. They barely did anything because they said they were delayed because of the redactions that hide victims. They didn't hide the information about the fact that they were tracking one of the journalists who was covering this whole Epstein file shit. Like, they had the flight logs of one of the journalists doing the whole Epstein files, like covering it, doing the journalistic duty, finding out information, giving justice to the people and giving them a voice, doing their job. They had flight logs of her doing that. Don't trust this. So to end this disgusting chapter of today's episode, because I despise the fact that this is still going on, we should have had Truth for Justice, but hey, slavery existed for 600 years. The hell, they didn't do any reparations. The fuck are they going to do for only, I don't know, thousands of girls and decades of suffering? They ain't going to do shit. That's the government. But on that somber note, continue to put their feet to the fire. We need truth. We need the truth to be spoken. We need these files unredacted and released. We need to be putting all these billionaires who has been spending their billions of dollars of wealth that they stole from us to prey on innocent people. There needs to be justice. And we as the people need to continue to keep this alive. Thank you for listening to this little message, but after the break, we're going to come back to more bullshit that happened in January.
Thank you, everybody, for watching our show. Listening if you're on our major podcast platforms on Spotify and Apple. I'm your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo. Thank you so much for enjoying hearing my annoying voice, and hope you'll have a wonderful 2025. It's going to be a long one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying Espera Que with Yarince, and I apologize for stumbling over the name. It's the first time that I've talked about the show, and I'm excited to talk about it as we are offering, and you will see on our media pages, we're adding a lot of new shows that have nothing to do with me, but I'm here to talk about it because I'm kind of the company's spokesperson, I guess. Or mascot, depending on the day. But anyway, it's a new, exciting, hip new show. I don't know if the kids use the word hip, but I do because I'm old. And anyway, it's getting the Latin Hispanic perspective, but from somebody much younger, from a Gen Z participant that is a young activist in our community. And Yarince's been on many of our shows in the Two Queers and Coffee family. And we look forward to hearing his opinions and thoughts. And I find this show probably one of the most interesting new shows. So check it out. It's available on our family of networks. And just like Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, as normal, all the same bat channels and all the same bat times. Come find us on Wednesday. There's something to watch every week. Anyway, thanks for listening as always, and we'll see you next week.
Matt, so in this fascist hell we are still living in, our dear leader, Trump, has been doing war crimes McGee all over the world. To start off, in the Caribbean, they have been bombing boats, claiming it's drug boats when there is literally no evidence. And then in a bunch of congressional committees and leaks, they have literal video proof of them shipwrecking a bunch of people, which they have no evidence of the drugs, but have evidence of them blowing up the ship and then double tapping them. See two men who got blown up on a diner table sized wooden board, just trying to survive. And their excuse was we don't know if they have drugs below there or have weapons or people are coming. So we just double tapped them and blew them up. So War Crimes McGee, Chief Queef in, I don't know, our keg in, whoever's in charge of the Department of Justice, piece of crap, drunk Fox News guys. Truthfully, my brain is mush for the past couple of days because of how Pete Hegseth. Yes, Pete Hegseth. Yeah, he's a war criminal. Which, I mean, when he first leaked that Signal chat, he was also doing a war crime with that thing he was leaking because they just blew up a whole entire apartment building.
Hey everybody, this is Yarince Pascual Mateo, your host of Espera Que. Well, I hope y'all are having a good start of your 2025 because we're going to have a fun, long year listening to the news.
For only one target? Yeah, let's just blow up a building of more than 200 people living in it just for one guy. That totally won't breed thousands of terrorists. Totally. Either way, war crimes galore. And then in Africa, they bombed Nigeria because they were going against ISIS, which, I mean, that one, the Nigerian government has come out and said that they were in agreement and work with this, which if they agree, I'm can't really say anything much about it. I understand what's the situation. But the way they went around saying that they were bombing Muslim terrorists, when even the Nigerian government themselves said that, no, you're just bombing terrorists. These terrorists are killing people, which I don't want to do oppression Olympics at all. I hate doing that. But more Muslims are being murdered by terrorist groups than Christians. That should not matter at all. I'm just saying. It's just that nobody's religion should be an excuse for us to be saving them. We should just save them because they are suffering. If someone is hurt or suffering, we go out and help them because we are human beings and we need to help other human beings. We don't make that conditional based off of their religion, because religion is just your relationship between you and your God. And I don't think God gives a rat's ass if you are mean to the people who don't believe in him. He only cares about if you take care of the people that he told you to take care of, which is the poor, the needy, the sick, everybody, your neighbors, everybody, because all of us are human beings and all of us. Like, I'm an atheist here and I understand more about Jesus than some of the people who said I am a violent terrorist for, I don't know, calling Charlie Kirk a racist piece of shit. But yeah, so they bombed Nigeria, which that was in December 27th, 2025. It was like near Christmas, which, I mean, again, I wouldn't do that, but again, it was a joint effort with the Nigerian government. I'm not the guy in the geopolitical space. I don't know how they were thinking in doing that stuff. So I just know that that just led to something worse, which in January the 4th or 5th, 2 weeks ago from recording right now, Donald Trump has ordered the kidnapping, which this is a kidnapping, just to tell you, the kidnapping of a sovereign leader, Maduro, from Venezuela, which, here's a thing, not a fan of Maduro. To start off a little, all I know about Venezuelan political history is that they had Chavez. He used the money from oil and stuff. He nationalized the oil and used that money to do social programs. But he died. So Maduro came in. Maduro, pretty corrupt, really bad guy. He's a dictator. He is a dictator. That's a thing. He has human rights violations, kidnapped journalists and just activists, tortured and killed innocent people. He is a horrible human being. But in 2014, he came into power. His corruption started going on, and then U.S. sanctions came into Venezuela, which not really good, because part of it is because of Maduro, but most of it was because they won't play nice with oil companies, which that's stupid. Now, Trump kidnapped this guy, which he's been leading up to this all 2025, just shitting on Venezuelans and being horribly racist to Venezuelans just because he hates Maduro and he thinks that all Venezuelans are the same as Maduro. But now he kidnapped Maduro from his estate with his wife, and he is being held to trial in New York, which, here's the thing. We don't have the jurisdiction to do that. Like, we should not be going around kidnapping people and then trying them. That is in the United, like, again, the Venezuelan people were suffering under Maduro. To tell you, to get it out of the way, Maduro, not a good person. He is a horrible dictator. People were suffering under him. But the United States should not be going around policing different countries because, one, we have no right to do that. We've been doing the exact same thing, except 10 times worse than Maduro all over the world. And Trump, he's now doing it to his own citizens. And two, every time the U.S. came in saying, hey, we're here for democracy, we're going to replace this stuff and do it for the Venezuelan people, every time we did this is Trump, Obama, George W. Bush, every single U.S. president, the people we install make it 10 times worse for the people, and then they get overthrown, and then it leads to a power vacuum with there's endless violence and ceaseless madness just because the United States cares more about the resources and money they can pull out of it instead of the human beings. Because here's one thing when it comes to me. What's more valuable is a living human being. Because a living human being is able to create anything if they are given the resources, the time, the energy, the money, and everything. People pretty much will give you whatever you want if you're nice and respectable. If you're just a decent human being, most people will gladly work their butt off to make sure you're happy and good and taken care of. Now, yes, we live in a world where there are assholes, and I'm not saying kumbaya all, but I'm not going to lie. Most people are just chill and will rather just talk it out than kidnap and bomb and kill, I don't know, a couple hundred innocent civilians and better things. Because I know somebody's going to say the Venezuelans are dancing in the street. One, those Venezuelans are the people from like out of the country. In the country, a lot of people are protesting. And two, even in the people who are dancing and stuff like that, they have the right to dance and be happy. They are allowed to be happy that Maduro is gone. The thing is, I don't know if they understand that America is not a good change. Because through American history, unless you are a country that has majority white complexion, they're not going to treat you like human beings until you are violent against them. And then they're just going to treat you into demons until they've beaten you to submission or continue to demonize you forever. Ask Iraq, ask Cuba, ask Afghanistan, ask any country that has had America come in and say democracy and then leave stealing all those resources, which, mind you, I watched the press conference when this was released. Like, I woke up, went to bed January 3rd, woke up January 4th. We bombed Venezuela, baby. And then watched the press, which he only cared about the oil. Oh, we're going to give it to the Venezuelan people. Yeah. The guy who cut, like, I don't know, almost $1 trillion of healthcare from the American people is totally going to give the Venezuelan people the money they are owed from the American oil he continually called in Venezuela that is owned by the American oil companies he continued to only care about during that whole entire press conference. So either you're too stupid to hear the words coming out of his mouth, or you just think that's okay, which, like, it is good to call out the downfall of a fascist dictatorship. Like, there's a dictatorship happening in the United States right now. I want that to fall and go down. Truthfully, I don't mind if other international places come in and get rid of this regime that we have in here. But the thing is that, one, even though I'm an immigrant, I'm still patriotically American, and I think that's a job that the people need to do to take over. A revolution only works when it only cares about the people. A country, it's its people, not the people who has the paperwork that says they're Americans. It is the literal human beings who build up this country and make it as great as it is. It isn't the billionaires who are siphoning off of us. It isn't the corporations who are gorging themselves off of our resources. It is the human beings who work their butt off to be proud Americans. We are proud to be silly, stupid people. But now we have these corporations just doing this, and we have the dictatorship. And I believe as a people, we should be able to do something about it. We, the people, should do that. That's why I think Venezuelan people, they might have the same patriotic feeling that I have for my country. And I think they should be able to overthrow Maduro themselves instead of being beholden to another colonial power that pretty much got them into the situation in the first place. Because, fun fact, if you don't know U.S. history, which you should know, like, I learned this in U.S. history, the AP U.S. history class, which I'm amazed to lay allowed some of this stuff because the censorship in the other classes are just ridiculous. But the United States wasn't nice to the global South. It went around stealing resources and beating people to submission so they follow what the United States says. I don't want that to happen to Venezuela. I don't want another Iraq. I don't want another Iran. I don't want another Afghanistan. I don't want another Chile, Dominican Republic, not Argentina, Chile, Dominican Republic,
Venezuela.
Venezuela again, boogaloo. It's just, this isn't how we should conduct ourselves. The United States should be someone who's supposed to uphold justice and democracy, not uphold the bottom line for oil execs. And I'm just going to say my thoughts on this Venezuelan kidnapping. Guys, this isn't good. No. Like he said, the United States is now in charge, not the opposition leader, not the people who they let stay in place, which it's still Maduro's place. They may have cut off the head, but you got to understand, we're not chickens. We're human beings. Just because you took out the leader, there's most likely like 10 other suckers out there who are just as competent or more ready to take over his place. And unless they gladly are okay with this, which, trust me, I highly doubt that everybody's unanimously happy for the United States to take over their country, there's going to be violence. Because Donald Trump and his administration themselves said, if they don't play by our rules, we'll make them. That isn't something you say to be nice. So to end this story, I'm just going to say is that any leader with enough firepower, enough manpower can just kidnap leaders of sovereign states and tell them, follow our rules or else. No one should be doing that. No one. Like, literally, we told Russia, don't do that to Ukraine. It's kind of hypocritical for us to do it to Venezuela, which the premise for this is the flimsiest of things. It isn't about drugs. Most of the drugs that come from Venezuela go to Europe, and it's only a corridor. They don't make any of the drugs. They mostly get all the ingredients from China and have it produced in Mexico. It's just a corridor. They just have drugs there. Yes, there could be something else, but trust me, kidnapping a sovereign state's leader and then threatening that state to follow your rules isn't the answer to dealing with the drug crisis that we're dealing with. I think more like getting rid of the man by making sure rehab's available and making sure people are able to go through different avenues before they get themselves into drugs. I would think that would be a lot better. But yeah, start of 2026, everybody. Like, it was filler episodes from December 26th to, I don't know, the bombing of Venezuela. So there were good days. I'm just saying our world is going to be completely different. And I'm just sick and tired of these unprecedented times. Like, I would think most of since I was 16 to now and continuing on, will be in the history books. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, early 2000s, yeah, that's where shit hit the fan. I wouldn't be surprised. They should have the whole chapter in the history book for America where shit hit the fan. Because we are hitting the 250-year anniversary of the United States, which we have been more at war than in peace in the history of this country. So, fun fact. So, bombing another country and then trying to do another whole neo-colonial imperial state, which we did this literally in the beginning of the 2000s. And I was barely alive, but now I'm alive and adult to see my own Iraq. So, American tradition. See you after the break. We're going to end the day and go over some more upsetting news.
Hi everybody, this is Yarince from the Espera Que show over here. All I'm here is doing a little quick PSA. Use this summer to do volunteer work. Go to your nearest YMCA, go to your nearest homeless shelter, go to whatever community services or programs that you can help out and volunteer. Because right now, we have a bunch of fascist pieces of shit trying to rip apart our country and rip apart the people, our communities, by spreading hate and bigotry. The best way to combat it is, one, working in your community and standing strong to show that you are strong and you're here to help out others. Two, combat misinformation. If you hear bullshit, first research and make sure if it's true or not. If it is not true, call it out. If it is true, get the facts. Be knowledgeable of it because it might come out later. So always stand against that. And three, fuck fascists. Stand against them. Make them feel uncomfortable. There is too many people out there feeling like they can say the hard R or say slurs or be violent. Make them understand that a lot of people died to make sure this hatred and bigotry does not exist. All our civil rights workers, all the people who restored normity, everybody who fought against intolerance and hatred, they died and worked their asses off to stop this. So follow in their footsteps and stop this madness. This is Yarince again from Espera Que, and all I can say is be there for your community and stand up for what's right. Fuck fascism and have a wonderful day.
Welcome back, everybody. Last story is, I'm not gonna lie, this story boils my blood. So I'm gonna try to censor myself a little bit more so I don't upset the Charlie Kirky fans. Here's the thing. As I said earlier in the episode, a white woman has been murdered in the streets by ICE. Now, I'm gonna say her name, Renee Nicole Good. She is a mother, an artist, a community member. She was lesbian. She was just a normal human being, just standing up for her neighbors and being patriotic like every other human being who sees a police state harassing innocent people. They stand up and speak out. I believe the timeline has said that she was coming back early in the morning, dropping off her kid in their school. They're on her road. Her car was parked out in the middle of the road, and then ICE told her to move, and then she was moving out, and they were giving conflicting statements. Get out, having guns pointed out of there. Her wife is on the other side of the car telling them to fuck off, and they have no power, which they don't. ICE is immigration enforcement. They are U.S. citizens. But I digress. She starts moving her car away from the officers, but some little bitch, Jonathan Ross. So the ICE pig, Jonathan Ross, with his face covered, with his hand on his phone, got his gun, pulled it out, aimed it at her face, and shot 3 times and called her a bitch afterwards. How do I know all this information? Because there are multiple angles and shots all over this whole situation, and it shows Jonathan Ross, the ICE pig who murdered this innocent woman. Murdered this woman. She was not a threat. She was not trying to run him over. There is multiple video analysis from multiple reputable sites, like multiple news sources, multiple media analysis groups. They done their work, and you can even see it with your own 2 eyes. The car goes this way. Man is standing away from car, and he shoots her in the face and walks away like nothing happened. It was a murder. And it gets worse when our own government is sanctioning this murder. They are calling this innocent woman, Renee Nicole Good, as a domestic terrorist, as an Antifa agitator, as someone who was obstructing justice, as someone who was hurting their poor ICE officers. The president lied. The video he put with his truth post lied. He said the guy got hit and was sent to the hospital. The man was walking perfectly fine, calling her a bitch and being all upset. They denied her medical help. A doctor was on site and said, "Let me check her." And they said, "I don't care." ICE has been crossed the line. They have killed multiple people with my skin complexion. They killed multiple people by scaring them off, and they get hurt by running away. They killed multiple people just because they got afraid and they just shot at someone. There is multiple instances of them saying that, hey, they tried to attack me with a car and they just assaulted them, and then those charges just dropped because they know they were bullshit. They don't even have body cams. We already have to deal with cops being a fascistic state because of our skin color, but these ICE bastards don't even have body cams. We only got the film. We got the film of him fucking murdering her from his own phone, Jonathan Ross's own phone. They didn't have a body cam for this shit. They crossed the line, and the state is sanctioning it. This is state violence. This is dictatorship. This is Kim Jong-un having the secret police go to your house and beat the living shit out of you just because you're doing something he doesn't like. Except the difference is this is Donald Trump having ICE a heavily funded literal military that is bigger than some of our allies to go door to door, which after her murder and the response from the community saying that you're hurting us and you're making it worse, they flooded the city of Minnesota with more ICE agents and border patrol bastards in Twin Cities and making things worse. They are threatening people out in the streets. They are telling people to learn their lesson. They are pepper spraying at schools. They're just being monsters, terrorizing the streets because people hate them for murdering Renee Nicole Good. One thing I hate about the story is that because of her skin color, people care about it more because there was a man, Keith Porter Jr., he was murdered minutes before New Year's Eve, before New Year's, by an off-duty ICE officer just for existing. And we have no more information about it, no investigation, but it gets even worse because there is more of a spotlight. It shows that they're not even going to hold them accountable for this horrible actions. These monsters kill people and they're not going to investigate and even won't allow state or local officials to investigate when it is supposed to be their jobs as well as them to investigate it. It isn't only federal. Everybody gets an eye and see what is the truth. Because for all those people who lost their humanity, you are no longer human if you still defend ICE after this. As I said earlier, I'm going to say it again. You are no longer human if you still defend MAGA and ICE. Because they murdered an innocent woman out in the middle of the streets. And they are trying to hide that fact and just call her a domestic terrorist. She was a mother with toys stuffed in her fucking glove box for a kid who she just dropped off. And she was murdered because some ICE pig named Jonathan Ross was so pissed off today that he pulled his gun and shot a woman 3 times in her face instead of, I don't know, being a normal human and backing the fuck off. Because even it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Days later, during the protests against this, these bastards are trying to run over people in the streets. And the same ghouls who defend ICE being scaredy cats that they put a bullet in the head of these people are now saying all the people who are protesting Renee Nicole Good's name and showing that she should not be a victim. But the thing that shows us that we are going to stop this fascist takeover, they should be ran over. Pigs who have hurt children with tear gas and rubber bullets just because they have a different skin complexion are more important than your fellow American citizens. No. Scratch that. Fuck citizens. Fuck your immigration status. Your fellow human. Your fellow human. I care about Renee Nicole Good, not because she's white, not because she's a U.S. citizen, not because she's American, but because she's an American human being who's a mother. And I have a mother. And my mom has the same complexion as me and it has done way more things that pisses off a bunch of racist losers by, I don't know, giving healthcare to people who are in advantage enough to get that healthcare, or getting the mental health they need, or speaking out against ICE. This is what it means to be a human being. It is to not only take the experiences around you and what you live, but willing to accept other experiences and understand their plights, their happiness, their pain. That woman was murdered because some loser got rage baited by the fact that she is actually happy and have a good life and is willing to stand up for her neighbors. Well, Jonathan Ross, the fucking pig, is just a piece of shit who is taking a check just to kidnap innocent brown people, which, funny enough, he's married to a Filipino woman. Do you really think because you're part of ICE, they're not going to go after her and your kids? Nah. So I'm just going to say this to end today's episode. Renee Nicole Good is one body of what's probably going to be a lot more with how things are going to go on and how brazen and heartless MAGA, Trump, this regime, and their supporters are acting by this behavior. And all I'm going to say is that stay safe, use your voice, go out and protest, stand up against this tyranny. And if they get violent, I'm not going to lie to you. I would get violent too, so I'm not going to hold you back. But to all of the people who thinks that I am wrong, my politics are deranged and evil, and I'm just spouting horrible evils, and Trump is good and everything is good, wake the fuck up. Wake up. Wake up! This is Yarince, Pascual, Mateo. Espera Que. Thank you for listening to our first episode of 2026 and return from our hiatus. Please leave a like, a comment, subscribe to whatever platform that you are listening this episode on to, and fuck fascism. I'm going to continue saying that. Fuck fascism. Because my parents taught me, Spider-Man taught me, Captain America taught me, Optimus Prime taught me, Monkey D. Luffy taught me, multiple revolutionary leaders in our real life taught me. Everybody who loves life, who loves art, who loves to exist and have a good life have taught me that fascism is not the thing. Fascism is hatred, lies, disgust, destruction. It does not matter if you are the ones they are pandering to. It does not matter if you are part of the in-group. The only people who are at the top are the ones with the guns. That's the only thing with fascism. With democracy, everybody have a say and everybody have a collective responsibility to care about each other. In fascism, everybody is forced by gunpoint to care about one thing and one thing only. Fuck fascism. Because if you're a true American, if you're truly a human being, you care about your freedom. You care about the freedom of other people. You care about the country you live in, and you want to live in a free country. Well, we're not living in this free country when the head of the Gestapo is saying comply or die. So, this is Yarince, Pascual Mateo signing off from Espera Que. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'm not gonna lie, we have a problem, and I'm gonna keep on using my mouth to end that fucking thing. So fuck fascism, and have a nice day. Hi, this is Yarince, Pascual Mateo. I am back. Espera Que is back in 2026, and yes, my hiatus was sad, and it was caused by a bunch of, I don't know, butthurt losers. But I'm not gonna say that. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm gonna be annoying. I'm gonna say fuck fascism, and I'm gonna stand up against this shit. So please like, subscribe, enjoy my show, and let's fight against the bullshit that we continue to live through.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for being at our show today. I hope you had fun watching it on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify or in any major podcast platforms. Thank you for listening to our show. I am your host, Yarince Pascual Mateo, and I hope you'll have a wonderful 2025 because it's going to be a long one.